Hello. So, opioids are addictive and they are deadly and they can be very depressing. They are also prescribed by doctors when they probably shouldn't be and by pharmacies. And they can be overdosed and gone through withdrawal very often. So, first, let's look at the different kinds of opioids. According to teens.drugabuse.gov, there are three main categories of opioids. So the first main category would be natural opioids. So the alkaloids, nitrogen-containing base chemical compounds that occur in plants such as opium poppies. And in order to have opium poppies, you have to have an opium poppy farm. And when collecting the serum from the opium poppies, you have to wait until it is a gooey, milky substance, and it's like white, milky, before it actually is effective and can take like the morphine substance. And then the natural opioids include morphine, codeine, and the thiophene. The semi-synthetic man-made opioids will be the second type of opioid categories. They are created in labs. So they would include the hydrocodone, oxycodone, and such as heroin and like morphine and some stuff like that can be put into it. So the fully synthetic opioids, they're completely man-made, which they are the most lethal and they can harm you the most. They include fentanyl, they include methadone and tramadol, and some other ones that are pretty bad. According to www.nymatrix.com, fentanyl has been said to be known as one of the worst opioids in the world and is killing a lot of people and at a very fast rate. According to the online dictionary, the Urban Dictionary, Narcan, or otherwise known as Naloxone, is an opioid receptor blocker. So it basically blocks whatever the opioid is doing to your body, and it tries to fix whatever it is doing and tries to reset everything in the body so that your blood isn't infected with all of the bad things that are happening from the drug, and so it doesn't get to your brain and block everything that's going on, and so it can make sure that your blood flow is still going and your breathing is still going so that your body's working. They're primarily used in the hospitals, and they're used to erase high doses of an opioid, like I said, such as morphine or heroin. And they're used in high-threatening situations. So, and if you use this, you're going to want to work really fast, and you're going to want to get to the person really fast if you're doing it by yourself and you're not able to get to the hospital fast enough. So there's a couple different selections that you can get it in. The Naloxone is in the injection, so you can do it in the arm, or you can do it in the thigh. And the Narcan, I believe, is the nose spray. If you get the Narcan, you have to have more than one dose, or else it probably won't work with a opioid such as morphine or heroin. Secondly, let's look at the side effects and consequences of using opioids. So according to www.deltamedicenter.com, the side effects of using natural opioids would be fatigueness, constipation, breathlessness, a sense of elation, physical and physiological dependence, nausea, confusion, depression, and depressed respiratory, and difficulty breathing, and death could often be due to using one of these substances or more, and chest pain. According to www.opium.org, the side effects of semi-synthetic opioids are physical dependence, addiction, drug-seeking behavior, withdrawal symptoms, overdose, mood swings, anxiety, irritability, depression, constipation, vomiting, sweating, seizures, and it can lead to coma and death. According to www.opium.org, the side effects for fully synthetics are euphoria, drowsiness, constipation, itchiness, nausea, vomiting, respiratory depression, and irregular heart beating. And if you do take any of these opioids that cause you to have trouble with your breathing, or anything that slows down your breathing or heart rate, or does something to your heartbeat, or makes you have like a foggy brain or hard thinking, I would suggest that you go to the hospital immediately, because if you're having trouble breathing and your mind isn't working right, then your mind's going to shut down and it's not going to want you to breathe, so you're going to shut down and your whole body's just going to shut down and you're just going to be done. So lastly, let's look at the opioid death rates and dosage and drug mix. So according to the IDPC.net worldwide, an estimate of 96,000 people die from an opioid overdose every year. And it's rising, so it's going to get worse if we don't do anything about it. And according to dmh.mo.gov, in Missouri, opioid death rates are higher in the urban parts of the state. So like in St. Louis would be a worse part, and the suburban area surrounding the city. They're increasing in St. Louis around their suburban area by a lot. According to www.projectknown.com, drug dealers are mixing fentanyl with crazy drugs that you would never even think of, such as meth and heroin and Xanax, for instance. So if you're trying to take Xanax or something just to fall asleep, you might get it and you might not wake up, or you might get some drug off the street or off the black market, for instance, and you might think that it's just the same drug that you've had before, and your tolerance is not high enough for it, so your body isn't going to be used to it, and it's just going to shut down because it doesn't know how to handle that. So it's not going to be good for you. So I would not suggest getting anything from people off the streets or off the black market. According to www.police1.com, the police are actually having to carry the Narcan and Naloxone around because they're actually getting it in their system when they're checking cars. and their dogs are actually getting it in their system when they're checking cars and sniffing around when it's in the air. So they have to carry it around with them just in case it gets in their system and they pass out. And according to some of the doctors, they need to lower the dosage and duration of the opioids. And some of the articles also said that the doctors are still going to prescribe too many opioids due to the insurance companies because they're okay with it and they're not going to stop anytime soon. So I was actually reading, and the number one thing that our taxes go to is our health insurance and like our health policies and stuff, and that covers most opioids and all of that stuff, most high drugs. And the most pharmacies have been seen prescribing way too many opioids that they shouldn't have been prescribing, but everybody has let them pass, and I don't understand why. But I was reading about that, and I thought that was crazy. But that was one of the things that I found crazy, because you have to think about they're on the insurance companies, so that's covering your insurance and you're paying taxes for that. And then the people that are on the campaigns for the opioids, they actually are part of the tax people campaigns, or their polls, or whatever they call them. But they're on that, and they were actually going to lower the dosage and the amounts of prescriptions that they give out, but they voted to not do that because the people in the polls did not like that, because they actually get money from the drug makers or the people that make the opioids, because they support their businesses, because they sell, or they support the pharmacies, and they support the doctors giving out opioids and stuff like that. So the polls that we did for our class, I asked how many people have taken opioids or painkillers or have been prescribed them, and 5 out of the 10 said that they have used them, and 5 out of the 10 said that they have not used them. And then my second one, I asked if any of them knew if their family had suffered or used or had been prescribed opioids. And one of them said that they knew of a family member having or used opioids out of the 10. The opioid crisis is beginning to rise. It's rising very, very fastly. And people are dying every day. I think I read about how 14 to 15 around the world, or something like that, or higher, are dying every day from it. And they're getting addicted to it, or they're going through the withdrawal symptoms, and that can actually be worse than taking the actual medicine. So if anyone pressures you to try something or to take opioids, or if you're going to the doctors and you are prescribed them and you just don't think that you should be taking these because you're really not in that much pain, then I really suggest that you don't, because you will definitely get addicted pretty fast. And I know that you say, no, it won't be me, I won't get addicted fast, because you will, I promise you. I just really suggest that you just don't. You stick to your normal ibuprofen, Advil, melatonin, sleep stuff. I just suggest that you do not get addicted to these crazy drugs. And if somebody is trying to get you to take these, run to somebody that you trust and tell them. Thank you.